Hi trainers, I'm Teeds, this is Nuts, and today we're going to go through some very interesting things shared by the wonderful ElChicoEevee. Now I am so excited trainers, because these things I've never seen before. ElChicoEevee has shared, I think they are old files, and it could still mean that it could be coming to the game at some point. However, please do not take my word for that. As always with leaks, starter mines, or just anything file related with Pokemon Unite, things are never official until officially released by Pokemon Unite themselves or announced, so please take it with a grain of salt. We're going to go through a summer map for Pokemon Unite, which means this legendary Pokemon could finally be coming. And ElChicoEevee has also shared a list of Pokemon that were supposed to be in the game as Wild Farm, but they got cut. But there might be a reason for them being cut. Maybe they never went to the game because they actually might be released as playable Pokemon in the future, or maybe they're saved for a map later on. Now, Pokemon Unite pretty much has told us that they are going to change up the maps every now and then. So we first had Remote Stadium. This was the OG map. This was the map where we went through a lot with Zapdos. And now we're on Skythea Ruins with Rayquaza. Now each map brought out really cool different things. The playstyles of each map were very different. I really enjoyed, as much as people didn't enjoy Remote Stadium, I actually enjoyed Remote Stadium. I don't know, it was kind of really chill. And then Skythea Ruins, I think, introduced a lot more strategical plays, which I was super stoked for. Now this is another map that ElChicoEevee shared. Now ElChicoEevee hasn't shared this as a leak. Usually when ElChicoEevee shares it as a leak, he will write Pokemon Unite leaks. However, ElChicoEevee has just really shared this for discussion. So I'm not sure if this map is coming. I don't know anything about it. I'm just going to share what ElChicoEevee has wrote about it. Hi everybody, post-editing Teeds here. So while we were editing, ElChicoEevee posted a tweet to clarify that this is not a confirmed new map. These are just old alpha assets, and they are assets that are not used anymore. We don't know if they will return in the future. So these are in the files, or at least they were in the files. They can be reused. Some of them actually did end up coming to the game, which you will see in this video. So there is a good chance that some of these things will make it to the game, but none of this is confirmed. None of these are like official leaks, but these were once in the files. And I also do have a huge theory about this, which is extremely interesting. So yeah, just wanted to clarify, this is not a leak. It is just old assets from the alpha. So here is what could be the summer map, or it's just an old map that was scrapped, but this is just really interesting. Now look at this. It is absolutely divine. I really hope this comes as a map in Pokemon Unite. If this is the next summer map, I will be so happy. Like, this looks incredibly cool. So ElChicoEevee has shared this picture. However, I think the text files are in Chinese, and ElChicoEevee had some people translate that for us. So really very interesting about this map is that there's also this part, which is a tree with these two buttons. I don't know where that is on the big map, or like the map that we have here, because it doesn't show, but it's really interesting. I wonder what these buttons do. So ElChicoEevee shared this image along with the tree, saying the blue side time tree area trigger, blue side time tree training mechanism. So I wonder what this is. This map is insanely cool because just from this image I can see it looks pretty old, so it must be from like a very early version, but the jungle looks so much bigger. There is like water in between areas that split the areas up. We have bridges which look insane, and if you've noticed on the bottom here where you would see the bottom Reggies, or like I guess Dreadnought back in the day, it looks like it wouldn't be there anymore, but rather in this building over here. So contesting this objective will actually be in a very enclosed area, which I think sounds really insane, especially with how much area moves we have in Pokemon Unite. It sounds pretty broken for Pokemon to have big circle abilities, which is a lot a lot of the Pokemon in Pokemon Unite. And then on the top here, it looks like you probably contest the top Reggie maybe in the middle there, or maybe it still could be on the top. I don't think so on the top. It looks like it's just the same as the bottom, but probably in the middle there. So instead of having the objectives right at the top and right at the bottom, it looks like it would have it in the middle of the side jungles, which is so cool. And then in the middle you would have your, like, you know, if this is a summer map, I would expect it to be Moltres. And you can see that the area is just a lot more open as well. So like, you know how the junglers would usually like jump over the walls or just run around the walls, they just have an open entry into the jungle. But because it's split into side jungles, like huge side jungles, it seems, I wonder if it would be like a shared jungle experience. I don't know, this just looks really cool. I really want this map to come to the game. It looks very similar to the beta map. So here we have the old beta map, which to me is a mixture of Remote Stadium and the summer map. We have that area in the middle that's just like the summer map with the bridges, and then we just have like, the top, bottom, middle area that was just like remote stadium. And then we have it split into different regions, or I guess like biomes. So a rocky area on the left side, a grass side on the right side, which is just like remote stadium where it had like a sandy side and a grass side. So that I found really interesting. Skythea Ruins has like a mirrored side, so it's like the same side on both sides basically. And then with the new map, or with the summer map, it's also like remote stadium where it's split into different sides, like different biomes. So I thought that was really interesting, and I would actually like to see the different biomes again, because it's nice to have it mixed up, like sometimes you're on the sandy side, sometimes you're on the grass side. I think that's really cool to just have a different biome every time you play the game. Now this is extremely interesting. So ElChicoEevee has shared a list of Pokemon that, this is not a leak by the way, these are old things, these are all very old things, but I have a theory. I know you're like, Teeds, shut up with your theory, but listen, okay, this is a good theory. Okay, I want to mention some Pokemon that ElChicoEevee has mentioned that we have never heard about before. This list is basically Pokemon that were meant to be wild Pokemon in the game. So we're aware of Toxicroak and Beware. They were on the beta map before the game was actually released. We actually had Toxicroak and Beware, Stuffle, etc. as Pokemon who were going to come to the game as wild farm. And this list is just basically Pokemon that are here as wild farm. On the summer map, apparently, now I apologize if I say any of these Pokemon names wrong, it's just so hard to memorize every single pronunciation. This one's really hard for me. So we have Pyokumuku. I don't know if I said that right. Now, this Pokemon apparently is supposed to be wild farm for the summer map. And then we also have Marini, who evolved into Toxapex. This Pokemon is also on the summer map. And then from this list, we have other Pokemon like Nickit, Thievul, which we have spoken about in the past, and they were actually found as wild farm, but they actually never made it to the game. You can see Stuffle and Beware. These Pokemon were here in the beta map. And we have a bunch of Pokemon that we just haven't heard much about, like Nidoking. We have Ferrothorn. We have Butterfree. We have Venonat. We also have some really cool Pokemon here like Jirachi. We have a legendary Pokemon, Ho-Oh. Mythicals, legendaries like Victini. I'm just, wow. Maybe these are supposed to be like, the Pokemon like Zapdos, Articuno, etc. So maybe that's why they're there, but apparently they were just wild farm in the game, although I would love for them to be playable, honestly. So some people were sad because seeing this list, they were like, oh no, these Pokemon are wild Pokemon, we're not going to be able to play them. But here's my theory. Have you noticed that on this list is a Pokemon that we in fact do play, and that is Aegislash. Now this list is all the Pokemon that is supposed to be wild farm. This makes it even more interesting. So Aegislash, if it is supposed to be wild farm, apparently Aegislash was meant to be a wild farm Pokemon. This is just my theory. This could be completely wrong. I have no idea how these like files work. I'm just going based on the info that I have. But maybe these Pokemon were cut from the game because maybe Pokemon Unite actually wants to add them as playable Pokemon in the future. Only because Aegislash is there is why I have this theory. Entertaining that thought though. I'm down for it, honestly, because I would love to play as Jirachi. I want to play as Jirachi so bad. I feel like it could be a mix of Pokemon that are meant to be wild Pokemon, but also it might be a mix of Pokemon that could be coming to the game in the future. So Pokemon Unite releases Pokemon in different ways. One, they are playable Pokemon, or two, they are wild Pokemon. So some Pokemon you see probably may never be playable if they're wild Pokemon, which sucks because now I know I will never be able to play as a Corphish, right? So I thought that was really interesting. It's just a theory that I have, and I really hope that some of these Pokemon are playable because I'm sure a lot of you would love to have some of these Pokemon playable. So if you would like to answer the question of the day, what Pokemon from this list do you wish was playable? I'd love to know your answers in the comments down below. So while this info may mean something or it may just mean nothing, it was very interesting to go through, and huge shout out again to ElChicoEevee for sharing it. I love creating discussions like this to talk about, and we are due in for like a summer map if they're going to stick with the theme of like putting a winter map for the game. So last time they just brought in the winter map again for Christmas, I think, and I think you get to choose, or did they? I actually don't remember because I don't think I played it a second time, but I would really love a winter map theme for Skythea Ruins for one, and I also would really love to see a summer map. I really want to see Moltres. I just don't feel fulfilled, We've had Zapdos, we've had Articuno. I feel like Moltres really needs to shine now. I feel like Moltres needs to have its spotlight, honestly. It's unfair. I want to see Moltres in the game. I guess it's really hard to do now because like we have Skythea Ruins and it doesn't really matter match with the whole thing, unless they just put in that summer map in and that's just going to be our new playable map because it will just change up strategies and the metas. And honestly, I don't think it would be anytime soon because we still have the championships that will happen in August. So if this map does come to the game, I don't think it would be anytime soon. Or if a new map comes to the game, I don't think it'd be anytime soon. I don't know if it'll be this map, but I really hope that this summer map comes to the game at some point, and I really hope that some of these Pokemon are playable, or we at least see them as wild Pokemon, because that would be really cool. Aegislash gives me hope, guys. Aegislash gives me hope that some of these Pokemon will be playable. He made it. He made it into the game. If you trainers haven't seen my most recent hint video slash theory for the next new Pokemon that's coming into the game after all the leaks that we've had, it is right here linked for you, right there on the screen. Feel free to watch it. Thank you so much for watching, trainers, and I hope to catch you on the next one. Bye!